So I experienced a bit of a interesting situation when I was coming back from Clovis to Portales on Saturday. Um, I was cruising on the highway with a Chevrolet Camaro. I'm pretty sure it's SS. It sounded pretty good. Anyway, I was coming behind this Chevrolet SUV. It was probably Equinox or something like that. It doesn't matter too much. But he was cruising in the passing lane, and we were trying to get around him. The safest way would for him to get over into the cruising lane, which is right hand lane, and for us to pass him where we were in the passing lane, because we were expecting him to go over to the right. So he didn't move over. Um, I flashed my lights at him probably 15 times and honked my horn at him, and just indicate for him to go over into the cruising lane where he was supposed to be. Um, Now, he did not appreciate it too much. So what I did was I got around him into the passing lane or the cruising lane. So I passed him on the right hand side, and I then got back into the passing lane and then tapped my brakes at him to try to signal him to get over into the right hand lane where he's supposed to be for cruising. Um, he didn't like that as well, so he got back into the passing lane and tried coming up on my ass like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then being he was so close to my bumper, I slammed the brakes on him again, and then he started swerving out of control, almost caused an accident with himself, and then he got really pissed off. Now, I just want to show you guys something real quick. Being we're in the state of New Mexico, um, we let me have to add my microphone to this, but so you'll see here under Chapter 66, Article 7, Section 308. Drive on the right side of the roadway, and here are the exceptions. Part A. Upon all roadways of sufficient width, a vehicle shall be driven upon the right half of the roadway, and where practicable, entirely to the right of the center thereof, except as follows: 1. When overtaking and passing another vehicle proceeding in the same direction under the rules governing such movement, that means within cities. That does not mean on highways. Number 2, when the right half of the roadway is closed to traffic while under construction or repair. Duh. Number 3, upon a roadway divided into 3 marked lanes for traffic under the rules applicable thereon, or upon a roadway designated and signposted for one-way traffic. And then this right here is kind of this is basically indicating one-way roads within a city such as Portales, where we have one-way roads, or back up to Washington State, where Bellingham has a lot of one-way road traffic. And then B, upon all roadways, any vehicle proceeding at less than normal speed of traffic at the time and placed in under the conditions then existing shall be driven in the right-hand lane then available for traffic, or as close as practicable to the right-hand curb or edge of the roadway, except when overtaking and passing another car proceeding in the same direction, or when preparing for a left turn at an intersection or on into a private road or driveway, which is mostly when you start to come in or out of a city, and also I believe for school buses. So, duh. The main thing I want to focus on here is when overtaking and passing on the vehicle proceeding in the same direction under the rules governing such movement, which confused me at first because it just says roadways, doesn't really define what it means. And then if you look at the other rule set for um, New Mexico laws that define a roadway, it kind of gets pretty generic. Under here, what really classifies it is when it says under the rules governing such movement, which would literally just be cities. So, anyway, what happened was when he was really frustrated after the slammer brakes on him the second time, we came up to a stoplight coming into the city of Portales, and he got out of his vehicle, started walking up to mine, really frustrated. I then got on my vehicle because I didn't want to damage my car, and he come up to me like he wanted to fight me. So I stood out. He had to be like roughly like maybe 2/3 my size, so he stood back a little bit and then got a little bit intimidated. I calmly explained to him the situation of why I did what I did, because what he failed to understand is how dangerous it is to be cruising in the passing lane. Um, I understand what I did was aggressive, and you really shouldn't do that, but it's really difficult to communicate to people here what they're doing is wrong. It is extremely dangerous. Of course, what I do is also dangerous, but cruising in the passing lane is extremely dangerous for a multitude of reasons. Um, if someone is in the cruising lane, which is gonna be the right hand lane, and they need to get over for an emergency situation, such as a vehicle stopping up ahead of them, or maybe a animal jumped out in front and needs some way to avoid them, there's no direction they can go if they can't brake, because the vehicle that's cruising in the passing lane is not getting out of the way. Second of all, cruising in the passing lane slows down traffic a ton, which then can cause accidents if there becomes a pileup. There's so many reasons not to cruise in the passing lane. It really frustrates me. It's one of the main reasons too why the United States does not have something similar to the Autobahn. Of course, there's other situations for that too, where we're still going off of speed limits from basically the 1950s, which most cars cannot get up to those speeds whatsoever. And then secondly, the road infrastructure in general, we just do not have the same engineering for our roads as what Germany has. We have the same set of standards. And then there's other road safety stuff that we can actually see on the Autobahn, where they have a lot more restrictions. Like you can't even run out of gas on the Autobahn without getting like a massive fine. Anyway, just a goofy story about how some dude tried to fight me because he was cruising the passing lane. Yeah, that really irritated me.